I think we can start. Welcome to this 65th TSC. Let's start with the participant from the voting member. I see Team, Orange, Telefonica, Nokia, Vodafone. I don't know if I miss anybody else. In any case, we have the quorum if needed for any voting. And beside the voting participant, I see Red Hat, SUSE, Linux Foundation. Am I missing anyone else? It seems not. I remind that we are following the Linux Foundation policies. Regarding the next TSC, it will be in 2 weeks on the 10th of December, and we propose to not to have the TSC meeting on the 24th of December. I don't think we would have a great participation, and so the idea, the proposal is to have the following one on next year on the 7th of January. Is this okay for everybody? Is there any objection or different proposal? Okay. So moving to the general news, today we are going to have a presentation with the focus on Workgroup 4 on sustainability of Kubernetes autoscaler evolution. And I would propose to have this at the end of the TSC after the update from the different working groups. And if needed, we could have some discussion on the first TSC next year on the Sylva framework, but I think that there is an ongoing discussion between the different work groups, so we will see if it will be needed. Regarding the governing board, we had a board meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's important to share the information regarding the technical priority that has have been agreed and prepared by the board. You can see here the topic that have been highlighted by the boards. So deployment and simplicity focus, including requirements for a use case that can be deployed, for instance, high availabilities, egress gateway, nested Kubernetes cluster, multi-tenancy storage. Then another important point is the revalidation of network function previously validated with the refreshing approach for validation. And also to expand the testing to include AI, edge and run application, and security specification, focus on advanced security features, request for Workgroup 6 lifecycle management to propose a referent, to prepare a reference implementation, and also to include new Kubernetes implementation inside the Sylva stack. These are the main topics that have been identified, and I think it's important to share it in the TSC and in the whole community, so they will be in the minutes of the meeting. I don't know if there is any comment on this.
No, just this input is valuable when we are doing the roadmap to ensure that we are addressing these topics. So
Sure.
we know that we have the support of the board also.
Okay. Regarding the governance topics, you know that we are in the election time period for the TSC co-chair, and it was announced during the last TSC a couple of weeks ago, and we are still in the nomination period that will end the day after tomorrow. And after this, during next week and for 2 weeks, there will be the voting period, and in mid-December, the election of the new 2 TSC chair for next year. And they will start the co-chairmanship of the TSC with the first meeting on the 7th of January. Okay, this is all for the general information, and I would move to Workgroup 1 update. So please, Mathieu.
Hello, everyone. So we still focus on what is missing in 1.6 in order to tag it. We keep the date of the 17th of December for the GA for 1.6. And I copy-pasted the list of features we'd like to introduce in 1.6. Most of them, of course, are well advanced, but still work has to be done for them to be well, to be finished. We can go into the details if you want, but you can ping me if you have questions about them. So some of them are for the GA and what we really intend to support in 1.6, but you can see that we also have a list of tech preview features. So any question about that list?
If you can explain a little bit what is behind the NetApp Trident CSI and
if we have
state
time,
operator.
Okay, let's
quickly
discuss them.
Sure,
you want to discuss specifically about NetApp? Okay, so Trident CSI is a new CSI we'd like to introduce into Sylva. Because we think it's important also to be able to start supporting external storage appliances into the Sylva ecosystem, at least the ones that have a clear and clean CSI plugin that we can easily consume. So it's really about that. We are starting with NetApp because the CSI is very mature. We won't have any CI into Sylva that is testing this CSI, the support of this CSI. I mean, we don't have any NetApp appliance attached to Sylva CI infrastructures, so we are not able to test it. What we will do is about about packaging this CSI as a unit that you can activate on a given cluster, Sylva cluster. And concerning NM state, it's an operator that is very mature as well, in order to easily configure the networking stack of each node, as long as this networking stack is coming with a network manager for configuring it. And it is the case with the new OSs that we'd like to use. I think about Leap Micro, but I think it's also the case for Core DNS coming from Red Hat. So again, take preview here. And for this NM state operator, it goes along the introduction of a Leap Micro OSs into the Sylva ecosystem.
Immutable OS. Thanks.
Just a question regarding the support of NVIDIA GPUs. Is this for specific NVIDIA models or general support?
The ones that we intend to support or test in our lab are, I remember some 200 and 400, something like that. I don't remember the exact name, sorry.
Okay.
But
no
you
problem.
can have details of it in the attach issue.
Is your
Okay.
question, Carlo, is it vendor not role? No, it's not vendor not role. But if AMD have some GPU that they can share to us and we can work together to integrate into Sylva, you are more than welcome.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Was it your question?
No, I was interested to know in particular if there is a specific models for NVIDIA, okay. But I agree with you that we have to be open to any model, any vendor.
Yeah, that's related to questions. So mostly the GPU we divide into kind of 2-3 ways to install. One is pretty much mounted on the as a kind of socket, right? Like a CPU. And then the other one is the PCI adapter and then other attached devices, right? So I think we are talking about the PCI adapter GPU card to support in this case. I just want to make sure.
I'm not sure about it. You can look at the details of it in the related issue. This is a first attempt to explore this GPU world, because we think well, it will be important in the future to be able to address use cases that require GPUs.
Okay, but, then what would be the process like if I wanted to get more information?
Yeah, you'll have in the chat in 10 seconds.
Okay. You can look at the details here, and you can ping me. I will forward your request to our specialists.
Okay.
At least at a range.
Yeah, I will take a look at it and we can go from there. Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
And Kisong has no as a white stack environment as AMD processor. If you have that kind of GPU also there, we can also manage in testing. So it's open.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
So one last topic I'd like to share with you is that today in our roadmap we are targeting Sylva 1.7 for May 2026, and we think it will be an opportunity to catch up on Kubernetes releases by introducing 2 versions of Kubernetes in that Sylva 1.7 release. So 1.34 and 1.35. Every required artifact should be available by then, by May 2026. And we are very late in Kubernetes adoption. So I think we will try to do that. We all need to agree about it. We can come back on this discussion, but it's not. I don't ask for any decision here. Please consider the impact it may have for you, and we can decide about that point in next TSC meetings, along with other roadmap updates, I think.
You mean that with the release 1.7, it will be possible to use either 1.34 or 1.35?
Well,
version?
I think we would deprecate 1.31 and 1.32 and support 1.33 that is already supported with 1.6, and add the support for 1.34 and 1.35.
Okay.
And when you are mentioning those versions, is it on workload cluster or also on management cluster? Just to clarify.
Management cluster would be in 1.35.
Okay.
You can choose, but the one we would test would be 1.35. And workload cluster, you can pick and choose between 1.33, 34, and 35.
Okay. Okay, any question or further comment on workgroup 1? If not, we can move to workgroup 2, the validation center. I think Guillermo is here.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Carlo. Hello, everyone. Okay, then regarding working group 2, what we are doing and what we have done is that we had a meeting with the new framework working group to work together to define the interaction between both working groups. The idea after this meeting is that everything defined there will be provided as input for the new subgroup that we have created within working group 2. That is the one in charge of flavor validation. That currently we are progressing on it. Moreover, we have that Open Nebula is about to complete the process of building its first validation platform. Currently, they are validating the 6-ring BSR over it, and right now they are in the last stage of this validation on the platform service software upgrade, the issue. Additionally, we have that we are working together with working group 3 in the definition of requirements to implement role-based access control supporting Sylva. In here, we have scheduled a couple of meetings during the past weeks, and we are defining a first blueprint that I think in the near future it will be proposed to be included in the roadmap for working group 1 to be discussed and change if it requires change anything. But I think this is a good point to go for a more industrialized way of managing the users and the roles and the permissions assigned to them within the Sylva ecosystems in the management and in the workload cluster too, in the whole stack. So this is a new topic that is on the table that is pretty interesting. And of course, if anyone would like to participate on it, it's more than welcome to the meetings. And the last point of this section is that we have several active validations. In here, we don't have many good news because we are facing some issues in both Juniper workloads that we are validating right now. One is being validated in TEF2 validation platform that is based in OpenStack, and the other one is being validated in Aura 1 validation platform, which is bare metal. And right now, in both of them, we are facing some issues. We have the support from Juniper, and we hope that the issues will be solved soon so we can finish both validations. In here we have Mavenir validation 2 that it has been deferred to January 2026. This validation is defined to be executed in Aura1 validation platform. So as Aura1 is being used for the Juniper Cloud Native Router validation, and after this, I think if I'm not wrong, Aura1 is going to be upgraded from one Sylva version to a new one. And then we are going to wait. We are going to have to wait some weeks until Mavenir does the telephony application server, if I remember well, workload is going to be validated then. And the last point is that regarding Suma Networks SDM validation, I can tell that we have stopped this validation due to the lack of resources to be able to support this activity. It is only stopped, so as soon as we have more resources from both parts, we will be able to resume this validation. And then talking about what is coming next and with the action points that we have defined, of course, the first one is to complete the active validations that we have right now on the table that are the two validation of Juniper networks. Then we are working on attracting more vendors to add new workloads on the validation backlog to start working on new validations. As far as we know, we have contacted with Titanium platform that they validated the DNS workload in the past, and they are working internally to propose a new one, and that will be the number portability workload. And we are in contact too with ZTE, that I think they will propose a new workload to be validated too on their core network. So we are waiting for both of them, and of course any other that would like to add any new workload to be validated. Moreover, we will continue working with the flavor validation criteria within the new subgroup that I have commented before. And I think maybe in a couple of weeks, I hope that before Christmas, the first validation platform of OpenNebula will be ready. So we will confirm by then that the platform is ready, and of course, it will be able to accept new validations to start being validated there too. And yeah, I think this is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guillermo. Any question for Workgroup 2? If not, I would quickly move to Workgroup 3.
Yes, hello everyone.
Hi.
So since last TSC, we mainly focused on the CVD process. So we rewrite it a little bit from the draft version we had in the past. And we work on the implementation using the GitLab issue on the GitLab templates. And with one specific feature to put the issue directly as confidential. So it's quite ready now. I think we can present this implementation to the work group 1 in the next meeting. So it's the 2nd December, I think. On the other hand, we still have an ongoing work on the hardening guidelines. Was not updated since last TSC, but we have still this topic in mind.
Okay. Thank you, Francois. Any comment or question? Seems not, so let's move to Workgroup 4. Wamin.
Yeah, so the since last week, the most of the work is just wrapping up the green dashboard release, and with the release notes update, focus on the bare metal experimentation. So that's what we have. Also looking forward for the demo today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And now move to workgroup 5. Julie, are you describing it, or who will?
Yeah, I'm doing
thank you.
it. Okay, so hello guys. Thank you for joining. I have several points I want to mention with you. The first one is that the next Sylva Dev Day will take place on March 27, so on the 27th of March. So it will be a Friday. So we still have a long time to go, but I just wanted to let you know that we decided the dates. Concerning the expense processes, because we have a lot of questions about, how do we do when we have an event and we have some expenses? Who do we call, basically? So the first thing first, the official expense threshold mandating a formal governing board approval is 10K. So if it's beneath 10K, you just have to ask the workgroup 5, and we will put both Jill and Yaril in the loop for the expense, and we will get a quick approval. So basically, under 10K, we can go faster thanks to Yaril and Jill. So I just wanted to let you know because we have a lot of questions on that issue. Third thing I want to mention, we would like to organize a hackathon. I don't know if everyone is familiar with the concepts. Basically, it's a day or half a day dedicated to working on a technical issue. But it's like a game, and at the end we win prizes, which can be I don't know what else usual prizes, but tickets for a cool event or a phone or drone, stuff like that. We have very good gift for developers. So basically it targets developers. And we are currently working on having a dedicated team for the preparation of this event because it requires a lot of preparation. And we don't know when we would like to organize it. Is it better to have it on the Sylva Dev Day or during the KubeCon? And that's where I need your help, guys. Do you think this hackathon, which is a technical event, is best suited for Sylva Dev Day or KubeCon? What are your thoughts on the topic?
I don't know if the participant to the hackathon could be involved also in the Sylva Dev Day. Then I don't know if it is a good idea to have together, or if it could be a good way of sharing the results in the community.
Okay. Yeah, it could be interesting to share the results of the hackathon during the Sylva Dev Day. Okay, I take the point.
On my side, I also promote the idea to have it during the KubeCon because many of the we need many people to support an hackathon, and it will be the same people than the Sylva Dev Day. So
okay, so let's start with the Sylva Dev Day, and I will come back with you later if we move forward on that idea. I have a second ask for you. I don't know if you know, but Sylva has agreed to sponsor the Telco Day, which happens during the KubeCon or just one day before. I don't remember. And thanks to this sponsorship, we get 2 free entries for the KubeCon. And of course, these 2 free entries will go directly to the people who will help us taking care of the booth during the telco day. So this is the moment where I ask you guys who wants to represent Sylva during this telco day. Basically, I think we will have one talk, a booth to entertain and talk to everyone, talking about Sylva. So it's a full day, but then you get 2 free entries for the KubeCon. Are there any volunteer who want to help us for this telco day?
Please, Satyavan.
Yeah, I can do it if
Okay.
all are okay.
Satyavan, so there is one person and okay, maybe a second one. I don't know if I can candidate, but okay, so one person for now, and we will see in the future if you have someone else. Okay, thank you guys. I think I've covered all the topics.
Thank you, Julie. May I ask you to update or to the minutes?
No, sorry, I forget. You can refresh your screen.
Okay. Sorry.
No, sorry, it's me.
I sent everything before the meeting.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Here it is. Sorry, I didn't refresh.
It's me.
Okay, good. Okay, if there are no other comments, I would move to workgroup 6.
Yeah.
Morgan is okay.
Yeah, I'm here. So just to say that the minute of the November session have been released, so the replay is available for people who wants to have information on the new feature from FluxCD, for instance, or there's also an interesting presentation from Swisscom on their pipeline promotion strategy. So, and we continue in December. So we change the time slot in order to accommodate a new contributor, and we'll have 2 main presentation. It will be focused on day 2 configuration. So when you do GitOps, is what you do after you have installed or upgraded, so that the usual operations on the function. So we'll have a presentation from Telstra, so the Australian operator that will share his day 2 implementation based on the control plane view. And there will be a second presentation by DT about OCAS project, which is the LCM management of CNF workloads. And I hope, well, if we have time, we will open the floor for day 2 testimonies. That's already a question we address, because most of the time the operation, the people who have implemented GitOps for their CNF are able to now install, sometime upgrade more or less easily. But for the day 2 is usually the recurrent question from the operation. So depending on the CNF, we all have testimony and feedback and some experience. And we already start sharing, but as it will be focused on this topic, I think it's a good occasion to continue on that. And we may also note that we decided that the working group 6 will have 2 schedules. So we have only 1 meeting per month, but we have also a request from Whitestack, a company that is based in Chile, to join. So we will also plan in January an agenda that will suit their time schedule. So it would be not possible for our colleague in Australia, but it will be possible for Chile. And the topic is already selected. It will be more on the CNF packaging and the supply chain. We already also initiated the discussion and create a guideline on that. But yeah, the idea is to continue on that and maybe discuss what Whitestack did with the use of the Sylva unit to package the CNF. and all this feedback. So it will be in January, the third Thursday of January, but not the same timetable. So you have to be careful and go to the working group's website to know the time schedule, because it will alternate from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the third Thursday of the month.
Okay. Thank you, Morgan. I think it's a very good idea a good way to involve also participants from other continents. I think it's very, very useful. Any comment or question for Workgroup 6? If not, I don't think that we have any update from Workgroup 7, that we'll have the meeting tomorrow. So during the next TSC, I think we will have an update on Workgroup 7. And I think we have 20 minutes now for the presentation from Workgroup 4, that I hope will be enough for the demo presentation. I don't know who is going to make the presentation.
Benoit, you are on mute.
Better now.
Yeah, much better.
Yes, better.
So I will do a presentation. So I will share my slide. Can you see them?
Yes.
So first of all, thank you for inviting me to the TSC it is an opportunity to present a feature that I would like to propose to the Kubernetes community. I called it backups. So indeed, it's an optional parameter that I propose in addition to the existing parameters to the Kubernetes horizontal pod autoscaler. And the idea here was to present you this feature because I think it is interesting for telco operators because we have some, I will explain it a bit later, we have some workflows that use protection schemes. And so this feature should be convenient for them. So at first, I would like to introduce the context. So as you know, Kubernetes proposes self-healing features that enables to restart a pod on another node if a node is failing. And the main time to repair the pod is usually several seconds, or it might be also a little bit higher. So this is convenient for web server applications, but for telco applications like mobile network CNFs, for instance, it's not so good because for the control plane, for instance, we prefer to use a 1+1 active-active protection scheme that enables to reduce the interruption time to have to be sure that the service will be active at any time. And for the user plane, for the 5G user plane, for instance, we prefer to use nominal backup shared protection. The reason for that is that we have high bandwidth, and we prefer to have a shared protection to reduce the capacity of for the protection. So with this, the shared protection consists in deploying some additional pods that are already active when a node fails, and you just have to switch over the flows from the failing pod to the already active pod, and this should shorten the interruption time because it will be only switching flows, and then you will have more time to restore the pod somewhere else. So I think we should achieve a sub-second switch over time, and hopefully it could be relevant for our verticals and that we host on the 5G user plane. So protection induces some overhead. If we consider, for instance, shared production with only one backup pod, indeed, the number of nominal pods that we can set up inside this protection schemes depend first on the pod availability. For instance, if we have a pod with 3 nines availability, we'll be on the blue line here. And it depends also on the availability that we want to reach with your protection scheme. And if you want to have a 5 nines, for instance, then you will have to set up at most 4 pods in your 4 nominal pods in your protection scheme. And as you can see here, so the unavailability decreases when the number of pods decreases. This means that you could, in order to reduce the resources, the amount of resources, use the horizontal pod autoscaler and to reduce the number of nominal pods when the traffic decreases. And this will have a positive impact on the availability, so it will not impair it. So it's a flexibility that should be interesting for these protection schemes. And the problem today is that Kubernetes does not take into account the amount of backup pods that we would like to set up when using the HPA. So my proposal is to add new optional parameters. So the legacy parameters are, for instance, the minimal number of pods that the HPA should deploy, the maximum number of pods, and also the targets, which is a ratio of the reserve capacity at which you want to switch to add or to remove a pod according to the traffic evolution. So my proposal is to add an optional parameter called backups. For instance, here I set it to 1. And if you look at the picture below, I represented the average CPU usage of a pod depending on the service load. So here it is the total transmit bandwidth by an engine server, for instance. And so you can see the evolution of the average CPU usage depending on this load. And you can see on the green lines the behavior of the HPA with a backup capacity set to 1. At first, you have 2 pods, and you switch over to curves with 3 pods when your capacity is about 50%. When you have 3 pods, you switch over to a capacity of 4 pods when you are here at 66%, and so on. So here we have a good behavior that takes into account the backup capacity. And if we want to understand what is the improvement that we have in energy efficiency, we can compare it with the situation that we have today. So we do not use the HPA for such protection mechanism. So we are on the reference line here, the white dotted line. And the improvement indeed depends on several parameters, but also on the traffic variation here. For instance, if we consider that the maximum load is adapted to the capacity of the HPA, the minimum load that you will have, for instance, during the night, has an impact on the efficiency of the HPA. For instance, if you have here a low value of a minimum load, so if you go down to this place, you have a maximum value of the energy efficiency improvement. And if the minimum load is higher, so if your traffic variation is not very high, you will have no improvement. So this curve is really interesting because it enables to understand what is the improvement of the HPA using the backup parameter. If you did not use this additional backup parameter, so if we keep the legacy HPA, and if we try to use the target parameter instead, for instance, by setting it to 50%, So you could try to have the same behavior. So here you will have some variation of the number of pods, but you can see that the decision to add a pod is always done at 50%, according to the target value here. And it is not so efficient as the improvement that I propose, because first, the energy efficiency improvement is lower in value, but also depending on the minimum value of your load, it could be also so the improvement could be null here at values at minimum values of 50% of the maximum value. So just scroll back here. This is the improvement that you have with the new backups parameter, and here the improvement that you could have using the legacy HPA. So you see that there is a difference between the two curves. So what is the impact of the HPA with this new parameter? So it's quite small on the Cube Controller Manager. So here, since I propose a modification of the HPA, so we just have to consider to check if a backup parameter is set, and if it is set, then it will be taken into account by the controller. So it's the only impact on the controller. Then you have to modify the APA to add an optional parameter. So this is classic. And the other modification that is interesting is in the printers.go file that describe what the command kubectl get HPA should return. And indeed, I modified this file to be able to monitor the evolution of the usage, the CPU usage, for instance, and as compared to a dynamic target that depends indeed on the number of pods that are instantiated. So this is interesting because you will be able to monitor properly the evolution of the load according to a dynamic target. So to summarize the benefits, so this ensures you can ensure by this way that a given number of backup instances are always available for protected workloads. You maximize the energy efficiency up to the theoretical optimum, since you consider the number of backup pods when doing the HPA. You expand the coverage of the HPA to traffic that never drop to zero. As I said, it depends on the minimum value of the service load. And it offers also target monitoring for different types of metric of type average that depends on a given capacity that has been reserved. So the only drawback is that you have to modify a little bit the controller behavior, but this impact is very small because it is occurring only when you set up this optional parameter. If it is not set up, the controller will behave as before without any modification. So today I already presented several weeks ago a demo of this improvement during working package 4 sharing meeting. And so the idea, and also today, is to find some sponsors among the operators, because I would like to have to be supported by other companies that find this feature interesting. And so I already have the go from the IPL, so intellectual property and licensing division of Orange to give the code to Kubernetes. But at first, I will raise a Kubernetes issue. So maybe in the beginning of December, I will do so. I just have to check some last things before doing that. And then it will follow if hopefully the normal process of adding a new feature. So I just I did not present you the demo indeed. I just presented you the feature. I don't know if we have still time to do so. It is about 2 or 3 minutes.
I think we have 5 minutes.
So maybe I could show it to explain you how it works.
If there are no questions for you, I think you can use this 5 minutes to show us.
Okay, so I will show it's a small video. So just before, I would like to say that I also have a paper that explains all the how it works. It is available at the IEEE, and I presented it in a meeting last year. So let's go to the demo. So at first, what you can do is to watch the different HPA that are available. So here I set up one HPA on my cluster, and here you can see a new column in this printing telling the backups capacity that is set. For the moment, it isn't set. To set it, you just have to add a new parameter in your manifest. So here, on the horizontal pod scaler, you will add backup replicas. And so you can set it up to 1, for instance. And you just have to adapt also the min replica and the max replicas accordingly, because it is interesting indeed to really monitor the number of pods that are deployed, keeping the same philosophy as before. So we will see that by applying the manifest, we update the value of min pod and max pod. And also here you have the new backups amount, which is equal to 1. So we just have to wait for the deployment of a new pod, since we need 2 pods at the beginning. And here you can see that the target is adapting. In the manifest, I set a target at 100%, but since we have 2 replicas, it is dynamically adapted to 50%. So to see how it will be modified with traffic evolution, so I applied a load with a WRK HTTP generator. And you will see, so on the left-hand side, you can see the bandwidth, the transmit bandwidth, the bandwidth that is transmitted by the different pods. And we see the number of pods that evolves with the HPA. And on the right-hand side picture, you can see the average CPU usage that evolves according to the picture I have shown you before. And we can see also the targets here, that is 75% with 4 pods, 67% with 3 pods, and soonly 50% with 2 pods. So this enables to compare the CPU, the average CPU usage with the dynamic target that is recomputed. So of course, this is only a computation during the printing of the kubectl get HPA command. And so it's not, the target is not modified inside the controller itself. It's only a print here. But it enables to have really a good understanding on if you are close to the scaling out or the scaling in. So, and here you have the remaining capacity related to the backup pod. So that was it. And
Thank
I
you.
don't know if you have other questions.
Is there any question, any comment?
Yeah, a comment on my side, you mentioned support of operators. I think it can be also support from IT vendors because some company are core reviewer of Kubernetes. So,
Wamin?
Yes. So I think this is a great work, and I do think there's more than just the energy efficiency use cases. It's also good for high availability because you have very quick switchover of operation. And also in other terms, if you are also working on the serverless, this becomes one of those solutions to start up the serverless functions in warm state. You do not have to wait for the containers to get started to run the functionality. So based on these assessments, I think this is a very good idea. The exactly how we are going to approach the Kubernetes community is something we can work out. Just based on my personal assessment, the Kubernetes community will require additional, use case validation to justify major changes to bring in new functionalities. So if a Sylva can become the sponsor for this innovation for the Kubernetes community, that will be really helpful.
Okay.
Is there a way to do it officially, or should we do it on an individual way? So finding people who could represent Sylva, for instance, and act within the Kubernetes community to help this feature
we have a voting process, Benoit.
Okay.
So we can ask Carlo to manage the voting.
Okay, thank you.
But you wanted to verify now if there is.
We can vote now or for next TSC to decide if we support, because some members might want to deep dive on this.
I think is better maybe to have a vote during the next TSC. I think it would be useful if Benoit, if you can provide to me or Guillaume the slides you presented, so we can attach them to the minutes, and whoever is interested can have a look at them.
Yes, so I will do it. Okay.
Okay, if there are no other question or topics, I think we can close this meeting and see you in 2 weeks for the next TSC. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Benoit.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Topic.
Thank you.
Thank you.